causes her to commit adultery. Now let us understand what he's saying here. Causes her to commit adultery. Saving for the cause of fornication, except it be for the cause of fornication. Then you cause her that is put away to commit adultery. Now watch this. And whosoever shall marry her that is divorced committed adultery. So that's a double whammy there. Remember now, it is only sundered by death. Now, how does fornication be classified as death? How does fornication be classified as death? Beg your pardon? Because of the wedding vows? Now, we're talking of when he says sundered only by death, what God has joined together, let not man put asunder. But then he's speaking about causing her to commit adultery, and then sundered only by death, meaning the physical death. But there is also a spiritual death. All right, turn over 1 Corinthians, 6th chapter. Now, we all understand what fornication is, right? Is there anyone that don't understand what it is? It's sex outside the marriage. All right? Plain and simple. Jotted down some notes here. Fornication is a term which typically refers to voluntary sexual intercourse between persons not married to each other. All right, that's the definition. Adultery is the voluntary sexual intercourse between a married person and another person who is not his or her spouse. All right? Now, watch this. 1 Corinthians 6 chapter 13 verse. It says, meats for the belly and belly for meats. But God shall destroy both it and them. Now the body is not for fornication. All right? Watch this. But for the Lord. Now God created the body for himself. We are all created for God. We are supposed to worship him. We're supposed to honor him. We're supposed to serve him. We're supposed to dedicate our life to him. Why? Because he created us. He made us. He knows all about us. Now listen. The body is not for fornication, but for the Lord, and the Lord for the body. And God hath both raised up the Lord and will also raise up us by his own power. Know ye not that your bodies are the members of Christ? Shall I then take the members of Christ and make them the members of an harlot or a whoremonger. Amen. You got the whoremonger is the individual that chases the whore. The harlot is the whore. Okay? And then you've got an individual out there that chases the whore, the harlot. All right? He says, shall I then take the members of Christ and make them the members of an harlot? God forbid. What know you not? That he which is joined to an harlot or a whoremonger is one body? That's a question. For two, saith he, shall be one flesh. Now, if you be a married individual and you go in with another person, then the two of you have what? Become one flesh. So what happens to the spouse? Marriage is built on what? Trust. Openness, communicating between one, love. And one thing about love, love doesn't work any ill to its neighbor, more or less its spouse. That's marriage. Marriage is not built on a fleshly thing, it is built on love. Two people who meet, they like each other, they enjoy being with each other, and they actually hurt when they are apart from the other. When the wife and I first met and we began to talk, it would hurt when it was time for me to go back to California, and she would bawl her eyes out. Oh. Bawl her eyes out. There's pictures to prove that. Because it would hurt. It would hurt. And I remember when we became engaged, you know, I am normally an individual that communicate with the stewardess all the way back to California and whatnot, but the day that we became engaged and it was time to go back, I actually hurt. I was in pain. And I wasn't dealing with nobody. I went back. I remember when I got in my bunk, I have to usually say my prayers. I remember laying there hurting, literally hurting inside. It's almost like, you know, you have been ripped apart. That's love. Amen. And it wasn't a sexual thing because we were not intimate with one another, so it couldn't have been a sexual thing. It was true love. And so you see, that type of love works no ill. It doesn't do anything to hurt, to harm, nor to destroy the other. Amen? So as it says, but he that is joined unto the Lord is what? One spirit. One spirit. See, you cannot be joined to God in the flesh. Only in the spirit. Amen? So then he says, flee what? Flee means what? Get away from it. Flee, flee, flee. If you sense it, run. If you feel it, run. If you hear of it, run. Away from. Not to, but away from. Flee, flee. Get away from it. Watch this now. Watch this. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body. All right? If you lie, it's without the body. If you steal, it's without the body. If you kill someone, it's without the body.